Sam Webster. It's a pleasure to meet you and welcome to PhD Lounge.
Thank you for inviting me.
So before the questions, when we've met back at the canteen with Emmanuel, who's not here, I went back home and said to my partner, saying, "Look, I'm gonna have Samuel Webster on the podcast." I say, "Samuel Webster who? Samuel Webster, the anatomist." "Oh yes, he's widely known in Romania because she's from Romania."
Oh really?
Yes.
Whereabouts?
In Sibiu.
Okay.
A bit far from Bucharest, the capital.
Yeah.
And she was telling me that, he's quite popular in Romania, and thanks to his YouTube channel, we get on there for now. And she has a friend who, I think she has finished her anatomy undergraduate there in Romania, and say, we follow a lot Samuel Webster there, and they say, okay. So he's quite popular across Europe.
Yeah, I've been to Romania the last couple of years. I've been to Cluj-Napoca. They've invited me to give a keynote talk at the Heart Conference. Those guys over there, they're amazing. I'm always amazed by medical student conferences and student conferences. Like, as an academic, to be honest, I try and avoid them. And then when students organise these things and they're that good, yeah. So I have had some good introductions to Romania, yeah.
Right. Well, I can say that the world is so small in that regards, because and also network is also plays a big part on that. I spoke that you would be my guest here at PhD Lounge, and she was so happy to know, related to her friend who studies anatomy, and then amplified this whole situation and say, okay, and so since he's popular, I gotta check what he's been doing. And then I noticed, there was a LinkedIn post you've typed a couple months ago. It was a great pleasure to be in Romania. And I was, oh my God, no, everything is connecting.
Yeah, it's a small world. I mean, that's the beauty of this, right? Because, I've ended up making podcasts and videos because I'm a nerd. Well, that's the same reason I do everything this is why I'm in science, is because I'm a nerd. But it's amazing how, because I grew up with the internet, as in the internet was becoming a thing. Yeah. This is what we wanted. We wanted to be able to share information freely. We wanted to make the world a smaller place, right?
Yeah. And we never expected to make that into videos. It was basically audio at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then YouTube came 20 years ago and just said, now it requires an online presence where we share moments, we share lessons, we share things that connects with us and resonates with the rest of the world, and that's where it can and that's what it's currently doing from the most of us, I guess.
And before that, it was text, right? Because when the web was the web, we wrote vlogs because we were nerds. We wanted to share our lives, and then we wanted to share the science that we were doing. And then as a teacher, I would write blogs about whatever we've been teaching that day. And then it's just, as the technology changes, the media you use just rolls along with it, you know?
Yes. And from blogs and then videos or vlogs nowadays, and then podcasting.
Yeah, I don't know what's next.
You don't know what's next.
I'm trying to keep up though.
People will assume, AI will take over the world, and say, well, we don't know actually, but the world keeps evolving, and that's the beauty of it. So you said you were kind of a nerd in the field. How does that evolved throughout your academic background until you decided, this is my aha moment of doing medicine and specifically anatomy?
At school, by the time I got to A-levels, I was doing all the sciences. And I was doing the sciences because I just wanted to know how everything worked. I've always wanted to know how everything works. I've always taken stuff apart. I love watching those documentaries on TV with factories that make things and, all that sort of stuff. It's like, how does everything work? But I didn't know what I wanted to do with 3 sciences after school. So normally when you do 3 sciences, you get pushed, go and do medicine, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not really the right person to do medicine. but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But my teachers, certainly one of my biology teachers knew me better than I knew me. They obviously had experience with this. And they saw a new anatomical sciences degree program was starting in Cardiff, but it wasn't starting for another year. So they said, what about this? It's like, yeah, cool. That sounds cool. Anatomy, that sounds good. Human anatomy. And they even also said, well, and also in the local NHS, here's a job working as a microbiology lab assistant for a year. It's like, so you know what I mean? Teachers really feeding you into the right thing. So I worked part-time as an MLA, medical laboratory assistant, working with in microbiology for a year, which I loved.
Yes.
At the bench. And then I started the anatomy degree, and you do the physiology and the biochemistry and the anatomy and the philosophy of science and all these other things. And it was great fun, but I still didn't know what to do. And I was still learning how to work hard. But it was that third year where you have a decent proper third year science project where, like, here's the project, here's the problem. You go off and do it. It was looking at tongues, frogs' tongues and rats' tongues. And the idea was, why can some frogs throw their tongues out further than other animals? And we thought about the arrangement of the connective tissue. So I was I was shown how to use a scanning electron microscope and light microscopes and cut sections and stuff. And then I was just left alone, figure this out for yourself. In fact, my supervisor left halfway through to a job in Holland, I think. So I was really left alone. But this really opened my eyes. It's like, what I can do science with these tools, and using a scanning electron microscope is mind-blowing, right? It was just incredible. And there were technicians who would help me. So there was the support, but there was also that sense of independence. And you go about this however you think is fit and sort it out with your supervisor because they're more experienced than you. And I realised that you can do this as a job and you can do this as a career, and that PhDs are a thing. It's like, yeah, okay, I want to do a PhD. I want to do this. You can do more of this. And you get paid to do a PhD. Not much, but... So it was that, basically. It was that whole experience. It was a teacher at school understanding her students.
Sure.
And then university showing me things I didn't know existed. That then, I latched onto that route.
So it was a more of a practical way of doing your PhD with all the technology and some of the dummies as well when doing when analyzing the human body, or even the anatomy of animals, because you were talking about frogs.
Yes, that was the PhD then was a molecular cell and developmental biology project. I was looking at the genes that might be regulating endochondral ossification, cartilage becoming bone, and there's a chick model for that. The sternum, next time you have a roast Sunday lunch, if you look at the sternum, the top third is bone and the other 2/3 are cartilage. So in the embryo, and chick embryos are quite good because they come in a little package. It's an egg, so you can, with chick embryos, we were looking at the cartilage and looking at the genes that kept one area of cartilage and the genes that would drive the other cartilage to become bone. So I was learning differential display, RT-PCR and things like that. Really tricky, problematic techniques that other people weren't using at the time locally. So I had to figure out all of these problems myself. And it was just incredibly challenging, incredibly difficult. And, one of those PhDs where you have no results for the first year. Because you're figuring out these problems, and then when they start to work, then you start getting differentially displayed genes. Then you start to get targets, and then you can start sequencing those targets, and it all kind of started rolling. But my word, PhD is the hardest thing I've ever done by far, and one of the best things I've ever done.
I think it gets the best of both worlds. The best and the worst to an extent of both worlds, because I was chuckling and then we laughed at the same time, because it also resonates with my experience. I'm still doing the corrections, of course, but technically a PhD student. But during my first year, I was quite lost in trying to get everything done for the probation period, and I had to postpone it for the second year, and I only managed to do the findings right at the end of my third year. And then during my fourth year, then I've gathered every material possible and compiled it into 100k words, because we like to write a lot.
Yeah.
And my main argument was literally at 6 months till the end of my submission. And so when you said, oh, there's a bigger challenge, it was so hard not to get everything done in the first year. And that's where I had the chuckles on that.
I think it's a common feeling in it's such a challenge, these things, and it's so different doing the PhD and doing a bench-based PhD. No battle plan survives the first encounter, right? PhDs are like that. It's like, we're going to do this.
Yes.
And then you do it. And it's the techniques you learn are often incredibly high level and very technical. If you're lucky, you've got a lot of people around you who are doing this routinely. Oh man, that's great. But you're still doing something novel. So it can be very off-putting, can't it? When you're putting all this time in, you're not getting any results back, and you're wondering, have I made the right decision? But
that's when I'm having conversations with med students, and including PhDs in medicine. Not long ago, I was having a talk with one of the PhDs in medicine. You might have crossed with him. His name is Angelo Robles. Is doing another sort of PhD in medicine, and he's this is so hard for me, just doing some lab work, and it needs to be done at this specific time. Oh, what if this is wrong? It was completely non-stop of talking medicine alongside with other things, but the main focus on the lunch was medicine. And say, I need to send this to my supervisor. I don't know if what's going to happen afterwards. And say, well, the only thing, look, I'm from arts and humanities. I don't understand STEM. The only thing I can say to you, give it a shot and see how it goes. Just don't think about it.
Yeah, you just got to keep pushing on and see what happens. I think this is why I do have great respect for people that have done, particularly STEM PhDs, because if we feel like we've gone through the same thing, the same difficulties. And I think if you have succeeded, it means you have found ways of getting through those difficulties that most people don't encounter. I don't have much experience of the arts and humanities PhDs. I'd like to know. I know a bit about what goes on there. But
it's a similar concept, because it's just it affects. We write more. We write a huge dissertation with thousands and thousands of words. Mine was 100k words, and in other fields is literally the same.
Yeah, and of course in that first year you're really fleshing out your own discipline, right, and your own thoughts.
Yes.
You're writing that introduction, you're pulling all those literature reviews together, and you're really assimilating that information, which in itself is a big job. And I think that's something else you don't realise before you get into a PhD, is the level of understanding you've got to get to in that niche area to be able to complete what that PhD means. And you figure that in the first year. It's like during my degree, I didn't understand what hard work was until I probably got to the third year, and I kind of figured it out by then. And the PhD was another big step up again. And it made me the person I am, I think.
And you said yourself that you are competitive, so you've brought that competitiveness into your journey pre and then during your PhD. And also you said also you have you did a postdoc as well, so you brought that also alongside your academic journey.
I did a few postdocs. I'm naturally competitive, but I try to be less competitive academically. I'm very, very competitive with myself. I expect a lot of myself, I think. And when I succeed, I feel good about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But no, during the PhD, during postdocs, locally, it wasn't about competition, it was about collaboration. It was all about support and working together and helping. You know, you're always gonna, if somebody's learning a technique you know about, I love teaching people about how to do that thing, right?
Sure.
You love sharing that knowledge and showing off your skills. So no, there's a lot more collaboration, maybe a bit more competition between universities, but even then, there's a lot of collaboration between different research groups as well. Probably more collaboration than people realise.
Yeah. Well, we could ask straightforward then about academic competition and also the competitiveness and how happy you feel about of seeing others thriving through collaboration as well. And I will ask you, because you said you have a YouTube channel with your name, and I'd like to know who is Sam Webster the lecturer, and then Sam Webster the YouTuber. Are two different persons?
No, I'm not that clever. It's all the same. So the YouTube thing got a little bit out of hand. I mean, so like I say, when I had a blog, you were just trying to share your life, and I was reading blogs of other people who would share their lives, because that's what us nerds did. We were making the web, right? This was before it became corporate. And then when I started this job in 2004 and I started teaching, like I say, I'd write articles about this is what we did today. Oh, and here's that paper I said go and read, and here's an annotated picture of that thing I showed you, just to add to the learning. It's basic e-learning. Ever since I started this job, I've always done various e-learning things. And then the podcasts. So then when video became a thing that was fairly easy to do, because you got to remember that we didn't have the bandwidth for video when YouTube was young. You couldn't watch YouTube at home because you'd have, we wouldn't have 150 megabits per second. If you had a megabit per second, I mean, whoa, half a megabit per second, you're going to be showing off. My first modem was 28.8 kilobits per second, right? Yeah. And then I upgraded to a 56 kilobits. Wow. So, and then video was actually quite easy to make because digital cameras came along earlier. So it was quite easy to make digital video, quite easy to edit it, very expensive to host it on a server, very expensive to stream it. Yes. Nobody really had the bandwidth to watch it. So it was that general thing of that's why YouTube got bigger, is because all the other technologies caught up. So at that point, what I'd been doing just shifted to video. So I wasn't making videos for the world. It's just that every time I make an e-learning resource, it's like, if I'm putting the time into this, I should share it with everybody, because that's what we've always done, us old people on the web. And that means the amount of time I've put into it is more valuable, more efficient, because as many people as possible use it. Great, I spent 30 minutes on this and loads of people used it. That's really efficient, right? So I'm making anatomy videos like the blogs for my students, just sharing them widely. And then the vlogs were just a continuation of the blogs.
Oh, wow.
And then, well, like I say, it got a bit out of hand.
Do you have in memory your first ever video of anatomy?
So, because I'm an outdoorsy person, so the vlogs actually have another purpose. I like to, because I'm a very active person, I like to be doing active things and outdoors things, just like with the blogs, to show this is normal, this is how I normally live my life, and try to encourage people to do it, right? You normalize these things like cycling to work, going for a run on the beach. You kind of encourage other people to do it, and it adds a bit of context if you're teaching stuff as well. So I think my early videos were, I was talking about cardiac output, and I think I was running on the beach with a GoPro. and then I was also doing one about lungs, or maybe it was the mechanisms of breathing, which I did on my bike with another GoPro. So I think those were the early ones.
Wow. So sharing moments and then just going through anatomy lessons.
It's a different way of teaching, right?
Yeah.
If I could take a camera outside.
It's alternative teaching, and I think just many of the lecturers are taking that step forwards. I would assume it's a small percentage, I would say, but I can see there's still people who are trying to elevate their position as lecturers and to show to the rest of the people what we can do as teachers, what goes beyond the teaching room, essentially. teachers have a life. They like, as you do with your channel, and is education basically towards medicine. But I'm a subscriber myself, and it's really fun to watch actually, and to get like a brief knowledge of it's how a liver works.
Yeah, it's our own bodies, right? We've all got one. That's the other thing, is I want everybody to know how this works. So I started making shorts as well.
Sure.
I don't know why I don't know why I started doing that. But I started making shorts for some reason. And the shorts are interesting because it's a case of, okay, how can I teach somebody something interesting about their body in less than a minute? And that's quite nice. And that then ends up being not at a high level, but a very everyman level. It's like, everybody needs to know this. Everybody's got a body. Everybody has things that go wrong with their bodies. The better people understand their own bodies, the better for themselves and better for everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a big part of it. I think academics as well, we're probably quite bad at having like a life and a job, aren't we? It all blurs together.
Sure.
Because, so I work at a university and they pay me to study anatomy and then tell other people about it, which is what I would be doing anyway. But they pay me to do this, right? Yeah. Because this is just what I'm interested in. How does the body work? So then, of course, that bleeds into my home life because that's what I'm doing at home. Just want to know how everything works, right? So then in terms of videos and podcasts, it's the same thing. That's just me on video or in real life. It's the same.
Wow. Have you ever got any not so pretty comments do you ever pay attention to the commentaries of down below?
It's basic human psychology, isn't it?
Yes.
You get lots of really nice, really good supportive comments, but it's that negative one that then sticks in your head.
Yes.
And then so you kind of when you get big, I think I have about 2 million views every month. You get to a point where partly I don't have time to read all the comments, and partly I don't want to read all the comments.
That would be great if we would make a living out of it, just reading positive, negative commentaries and reply to them.
The vast majority are incredibly supportive and positive, but like I say, it's just my own personal psychology that you tend to fixate on the negative ones. But it's the same as student feedback, right? Mm-hmm. If you've got 150 students and you deliver a whole bunch of sessions, you deliver a module, and all the feedback you get says, this was good, this was fine, don't change anything, and then you get one bit of feedback that says, I hate this bit, what do? Do you change it? Well, you shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
But so it's the same with YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Except YouTube comments are weirder. Much, much weirder. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously for my podcast, I never received any commentary whatsoever, like in such nature. When I started to put it on YouTube, I can recall one time that I had a comment, but it was a very elaborative commentary. That the one user said I was unimpressed with one of the interviews we got, and I say, no, this is a nice constructive feedback, and I earned a subscriber from that. I say, I really thank you for that. And you can't control basically what other people are saying, and as you said, it just gets in your head, but then you just have to release it.
But I do have some very supportive people making comments, and I've made friends with people who've made comments and made links, and we've talked together by email. So comments are weird as well. It's a bit like trying to get student feedback again, because you ask for student feedback and you mostly don't get any. No. You just get either end of the spectrum, really enthusiastic or really unhappy people. And YouTube, the vast majority of people on YouTube and on the internet generally never comment on anything, never say anything. Twitch, YouTube, the vast majority say nothing. So you've already got a very small self-selected pool of people that are saying things. So it's difficult to know how to take that. But like I say, most people are positive. It's just me, really. My main aim is to make stuff, and the topics I choose every week is just stuff I'm interested in that week. That's why there's not much structure. So there's something we've done or something I'm interested in that I just need to tell everybody about.
So it's not the on what you teach, basically. So in other words, you have this module about the human brain, the anatomy of the human brain. Do you take any information from that module onto YouTube?
Oh yeah. So if we've been teaching something that week, I might make a video about it.
Okay.
But you do this for 10 years, you've already made a video about it. So you're looking for something else to make a video about. The videos themselves, so you've only got so much time with the students. So the other thing the written blog and the video does, it gives you more time with the students. So the videos are structured so that they start off with a very low assumption of knowledge, right? So anybody can come in and I'll introduce stuff and lift you up.
Yeah.
I find that students that already know this stuff don't mind because they like the refresher and they think, oh, I know this is good. So it's quite positive.
Wow.
And the people that don't know it, well, it's good for them because you're lifting them up. And then I kind of cover the material that's most important, most relevant. And as you go through the video, it starts to get more detailed and more esoteric. It gets summarized at the end. But what that means is the viewer can just jump off. When you've got enough, that's it. You're done. You can jump off. Because I'm not actually fussed about YouTube stats, you see. Yeah. I'm not actually fussed with numbers. So that would be terrible if you wanted good YouTube numbers, because the main determinant for the algorithm at the moment is if people watch to the end or not. The more people watch the end of your video, the more your video will be shared by the algorithm to others. But I don't care. So it does that. So by doing that, I can cover the content I maybe talked about that week and then add the other detail I didn't have time for, and maybe tie in other things which the learner will then make those connections and remember it better.
So those ones that you add is through YouTube Shorts then, isn't it? Those extra layers.
Those are the long form videos.
The long form, from the long form.
The 10, 20, 30 minute videos. 30 minute is a bad idea.
Did you ever try to include any students into one of your videos?
No, not intentionally. I'm a one-man band. I am so busy. I do so much work that honestly this gets squeezed in when I can. I found in the past that if I work with other people for this sort of thing, rely on other people, it doesn't get done, doesn't get finished. It seems like the only person who can keep up with me is me.
Sure.
I have done something. I think there's some students in the background of one video because they were just there and they wanted to do it for a laugh, and bits and bobs. But no, that's why it's just me, is because then I've got control and I won't get it done if I'm waiting for other people.
Wow. I mean, again, this is all completely new for me when it comes to anatomy, medicine in general. But to say just one man person to hold on to himself and then just to explain all the beauty of the human body in a plain and simple language with less jargon, although sometimes it's necessary to add some specific words to it, right? Yeah,
you build up the jargon.
You build up the jargon and say, okay, I don't want jargon. I just want to see the dummy, basically.
Yeah. So the shorts are interesting because if they're an interesting challenge, because trying to do it in a minute, and I usually will get it in the first take as well, is what have I absolutely got to include? So that's an interesting challenge.
So could you explain one time you had the challenge when to make a video about a specific region of the human body? Did you have a video where you found it was the most difficult to explain?
It's always neuroanatomy. And it's mostly because most of the body you can pull layers aside and see other things. The brain is so soft. I don't use human tissue in the videos, it's just plastic models. But it's the same problem with the plastic models. You can't move it in such a way as to show the things you want to show. Like a muscle is a muscle. See, that muscle starts there, ends there. That's a muscle. What does it do? It does that. And that's the nerve that innervates it. The brain isn't like that. It's soft tissues and tracts and nuclei and grey matter, and it overlaps and it blends and they share function and they're all interconnected and they have circuits. And I know from my own experience that learning neuroanatomy and neuroscience is very difficult. It's scary for most students because it's so abstract, I think. So that is it's a major challenge. And also my own understanding of this is improving, and humanity's understanding as a whole is improving, right? So that's another thing that annoys students is, we don't actually know what all these things do yet. So sorry. And I'm teaching you this thing might change in the next 5 years. I'm sorry, because we're at that end, right, at the cutting edge. So that's always the hardest. Those are the hardest topics. It's so kind of ephemeral.
Wow. I mean, as you said, it also keeps evolving.
Yeah.
But
during COVID, I was still making videos during COVID. They were mostly in my back garden. And the one on my list to do soon is I did the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia are structures deep in the brain. They're involved in movement. They're actually involved in inhibiting movement. So with Parkinson's disease, that's when those circuits stop working, and then you start to see resting tremors. I don't know how I recorded that video without any models, but I basically did it from, I think, from photos that I had and just describing it. So, and I'm writing a textbook at the moment with a colleague, Pocket Atlas of Neuroanatomy. And now I understand the basal ganglia better. So you see, now I want to go back and do that video again with the models I have in the lab, with my improved understanding, and maybe I can do a better job. But I don't go back and watch my own videos, so maybe I did a great job last time. I don't know.
Yeah. But don't you do backtracking to see, what could I improve here? What can I improve there?
No, I assume I did a great job.
So they essentially, I'm gonna make this video, I'll edit it and then I'll launch it, and then I'll just ghost myself.
It's done.
And done. Okay.
Done. Yeah.
You're just only going back. Let me see the comments.
No, it's just, what's the next video?
Just the next video. Okay.
What am I interested in right now? What are we going to do the next video about? It's always about the next thing.
Yeah.
I've got a post-it note above my monitor. So October this year, I've been making a vlog and an anatomy video every week for 9 years.
Yes.
And there's a post-it note which I put up at the beginning which just said, just keep uploading. And it's still there. Because you've got to simplify, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a perfect video every week? No, if you make a perfect video, you're never going to get it done. The only rule I have is I have to upload something. And going through that process of having to upload something means iteratively I keep improving, because you always reflect on what you're doing, especially if you're a teacher. And it's in the editing process you think, next time, all those little things add up. And with time, hopefully I get better. But I'm not aware of any videos that I've done really badly that I want to do again. But things that I understand better, or things that I've learned new and cool things about, so I'll do that again. That's an excuse to talk about that again.
Okay. I see. Well, and as you said as well, because I was watching a video this morning, I said, doing the hard things. It was a vlog that you have uploaded.
Yeah.
And these, if you just go and wait for the perfect time to make this perfect video, as you said, you never get it done. It's just making the hard things. And as you said, we were talking about at the beginning of this talk, and saying just doing the hard things.
Yeah, right? I think the vlogs are a bit of a cheat, because really I can do a vlog however I want. I can do it low quality. I can talk about whatever I like. It's a vlog, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the anatomy videos have to have a bit of structure and stuff. But yeah, with that I was talking about how when you realise you can do hard things.
Sure.
And the PhD very much teaches you that. It's absolutely revelatory. Because you see other people do hard things and you think, and then you learn you can do those hard things. Like, man, I can do anything. If I really put my mind to it, I can do whatever I want. Now, what is it I want? And a lot of that is having the support around you. You're, as a PhD student, if you've got a good supervisor and if you've got a great co-supervisor, that is the support that will make you realise you can do anything. And with making videos and podcasts, I talked to lots of people about this, and the hardest thing is not the recording, is not the making, it's the hitting upload. It's the sharing it, right? That's the terrifying bit. I mean, I still get it every week. Every time I'm going to edit, every day of the week when I'm editing a video, I am grumpy. Because I don't want to do it. I don't want to share it. I'm just kind of got this grumpy mood on. It's like,
so there's that bit of, no, I'm going to do this. And then when it hits the moment of, yes, no, I want to upload, but yes, no.
the only rule is I've got to upload something. So it's like, it's done, it's going up, then worry about the next one. I think that method of worrying about the next one means you don't dwell on the last one, because I really don't think about it. Once it's gone, it's like, great, what's next? I think the PhD is the same thing, right? Because my PhD was not finished as I expected it to be. Wasn't as perfect as I wanted it to be. Wasn't as complete as I wanted it to be. Didn't go in the way I wanted it to be. But it's like a case of, you just got to finish it. You got to get it finished. You got to submit it. Move on to the next thing.
On to the next thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm also pondering what to do next. So instead of finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what I know what I want. I just need to do a breakdown of, okay, first do the corrections and then what's coming next. That's.
Are you looking for jobs? Have you looked?
Yeah. I've already glanced them. Just seeking out career boost here, and they're really helpful in seeking out graduate jobs in arts and humanities. Right, my background is ancient history, so at the moment, just glancing, finish up the corrections, and then after that, just start searching for graduate jobs on that side.
You know, that is the route. I kind of almost saw my youngest going down the same route.
Okay.
Really interested in history. We went to the open day here. Very impressed with the history lecturers here. Man, they are really good. And they did the small group thing afterwards. Really, really nice. And they're interested in the ancient history side of things. And I could see, and they were talking about academics and stuff, so I could see PhD in the future and what have you. And they were nailed on for that. But they were tied with illustration as well, because they're an artist. They've picked the illustration route, I'm afraid to say.
Oh, there's an illustration you ended up winning.
Yeah, I guess applications going in
But
soon.
there's something that you said as well, that here the Arts and Humanities department, we have great lecturers and they are great supervisors. And you were saying also the supervisor, if a supervisor is an excellent tutor, then I think the PhD candidate will also be outstanding. And I think that's what makes the department so good. If someone tries to motivate that person, only if the student motivates himself or herself as well. And that's basically it. And that is how it works. And we were saying about competition. If you are competitive with yourself, as you said, but you like to see others going through, and that's what makes you fulfilling in your role as a lecturer. I wonder how your students are competitively.
They're med students.
Yeah,
They're famously competitive. Yeah, it's really interesting. So when you've done your medicine degree, there's no grade as such, right? It's either you get it or you don't get it. It's not like a first or a 2-1 or a 2-2. Yeah. And then after the degree, you go into the foundation programs. You've got 2 years of foundation training, F1 and F2. And it was, so part of the algorithm looked at the decile that you finished in, what your scores were like at medical school to determine whether you got the job you wanted to get in the first foundation year. They've changed that. To a different method. They don't look at any of your scoring data, and I think the aim is to try to give everybody their first choice as far as they can. If you don't get your first choice, then your second choice and what have you. So try to get people to go where they want to go and work. And I've heard anecdotally from students that has taken away some of the competitive, not just the competitiveness though, the that push to work really hard to score the best grades. They take the foot off the gas a little bit. Probably doesn't matter, they're still going to be excellent doctors. But now there is competition at higher levels, surgical, like at trainee levels, because there aren't enough jobs, I think. And in some disciplines, it's harder to get jobs than in others. So there's a lot of competition at the higher levels, and I still see that in med students. So whenever I do lectures, and often in the anatomy teaching, I'll use like Kahoot quizzes and what have you.
I heard of it, yes.
Yeah, really competitive. And it's great fun because they're really noisy, they're debating, they're discussing the answers, they're talking about what we've been talking about. Love it as a teacher. And also you get immediate feedback on, they got the right answer. That meant they were listening. Brilliant. So they're a naturally competitive bunch. Funnily enough, back in the day when I run a series of embryology lectures, back before Kahoot, when we had physical clickers, so you'd hand them out in the lecture and they'd press the button, and for the answers you'd put up in your PowerPoint presentation. I used to run it as a boys versus girls.
Oh.
We did this for a number of years, and the thing we learned was that boys cheat. So they would pinch extra clickers and they'd sign into the girls' team and they'd put the wrong answers in to bring the girls' score down. Very competitive. I'm not sure, and obviously they're not too seriously competitive, but there's this natural, I think it's very, very hard to get into medicine, right?
So it's a natural and healthy and unhealthy composition?
It's healthy if you manage it.
Oh.
It's I think you've got to be that type of person to do medicine, to go into medicine. You've got to be up for the challenge, right? You've got to be up for the challenge to get a place on a medical school program.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's, we have 1,300 people apply and we've got 150 places, so you're already selecting for that type of person. And then when they start, I try to just encourage that collaboration, that working together, because they're graduates. They've got degrees, they've got careers in different disciplines, so they can help each other. The pharmacologist can help their group of friends, and the anatomist can then help the pharmacologist, and so on, and they'll all grow faster. But I think competition is healthy. I think it also teaches you how to fail.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to win all the time, and if you get used to little failures, then hopefully you learn how to deal with the big failures. Medicine is often the first time somebody fails something meaningful.
Yeah.
And the real challenge, the important thing about failure is how you figure out how to succeed in that thing that you failed, right? Rather than giving up.
How did you have during your PhD and then your academic career any sort of a moment where you said to yourself, I failed in this aspect, how can I improve it to make it a successful
PhD all the time. Your cells die.
Yes.
Your cells die. Damn, I'll wear my lucky socks next time. We're so skeptical, and there are some things in STEM subjects where we'll take all the luck we can get. During the PhD, it was just failure after failure after failure, but it was also incremental progression. I understand this a little bit better. I understand why this. I understand what to do next. And it was that keep trying at this thing, which makes that final success so much more rewarding.
Sure.
And I think I found once I'd succeeded once, you could succeed more easily again, because you learned so much from each of those failures. You better understood the process, and then you would succeed over and over again, and you could train other people how to do it as well. The biggest one was during my degree, though. I was terrible at biochemistry, again probably because it's abstract, right?
Yeah.
And because I want to know how everything works, I couldn't just learn biochemistry and that plus that does that. It's like, but why? But why? But why? And you go down this rabbit hole of but why? And I failed my biochemistry exams. So then I had to, approach the biochemistry lecturers and do extra tutorials and accept this process of learn these facts. And you're not just learning and regurgitating. This is a useful thing that you're learning, but that's enough. You don't need to learn all the detail. And then I started passing my biochemistry exams. Then I could, I didn't fail the degree. And that was the first thing I failed that was really important, I suppose. I mean, my A-level results weren't great, but that was the one where I had to really figure out how to change what I was doing.
Yeah. I was thinking on my mind here as well, because we all have failures. And I think from this stage, from a PhD candidate and then to a postdoc and then becomes a lecturer, most of the students will see us as role models, right? And then they expect from us that we cannot fail, because obviously they are paying their tuition fees, we get paid from them. But at the same, obviously we don't share these moments of failure because obviously you have so much to do in your head. But I was recalling my times in secondary school, but also during my uni times as an undergraduate, that I had to fail 3 times during my geometry module. This was back in secondary school because I was doing visual arts at the time, and I needed to do lots and lots of exercises in order to pass the exams. So at the third attempt, I've managed to pass. And then the university, on the first year, I had second year, medieval history. It was the hardest module I've ever faced.
Yeah.
and say, okay, I keep failing this time. So how can I revert the situation? And the solution was, I need to go abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Spain to finish my undergraduate, and I had only 6 modules left. The medieval history was the hardest one, and when I went to Spain to take that module, it was the lecturing style was even harder than the one that I had back in my home country in Portugal. I passed in a tangential tangentially. I can't remember the proper name. Was a little gap of 1 point above failure.
You creeped over.
So it was creeped over that. And I say, oh my gosh, I've passed already. So I was so cheerful and joyful on that moment that, oh my God, I won't have to deal with this anymore. And those are I think those are the moments where when you fail and try again and you improve and review it every single day, it's a matter it's a one more point towards success, to say that. And I guess students sometimes have also to think about, so if despite all the failures that because we're humans, that we take through, they also expect from us, okay, so if Simon Webster made up this far, he had to learn a lot, so we can also follow his example.
Yeah, and I try to share my failures, as a lecturer, my biggest job satisfaction comes from students that aren't succeeding and then helping them succeed, right? And a big part of that is psychological, the things that you've been describing, right? It's awful to not succeed, right? It's awful to fail at something. It feels terrible. If it's a little thing, you get over it. But if it's something that's really meaningful, it really knocks you to your core. It's like, man, this means I cannot do this thing that I really want to do. Because, like you say, you look at other people and you don't see their failures. Yeah. I work with a huge number of clinicians, and as an anatomy teacher, I have orthopedic surgeons who love telling me how they failed their anatomy exams and now they're surgeons. Look, because they're really proud of this, right? That's why they like telling me, because they overcame this thing. Turns out they loved anatomy and now they become a surgeon. I know some very eminent consultant who failed his final year OSCEs. You're not supposed to fail your final year OSCEs, and he is now like super highly regarded. Nobody sees that. He doesn't tell everybody that. So people do hide their failures as well. But no, what we're doing is not easy. If it's worth doing, it's not easy, right? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Yeah. But it just feels awful to fail. So a big part of what I try to do is try to share that feeling of awfulness, take a bit of the burden on, right? Say we've all been through this, and there's a huge amount of psychology to success, right? I think another important thing, I think this is important for PhDs as well, is try not to let other people define what success is for you, right? Society is a construct. Biology, physics, it's real. You are you. You define what is success for yourself. You define what it is you want to do. Don't let other people assume for you. Don't fit into those societal norms of this is what success means. Because just because you hit those things doesn't mean you're going to be happy or feel good about yourself. What is it you really want to do? What is it you really want to get out of the PhD? And you might not know. The PhD might just be, I'm doing this because I'm really interested in this thing and I want to do this thing. That is your measure of success. And if you feel good, if you feel happy as a result, bam, big tick. Right? I think.
It is. So would that be your definition of success? Do you have already one?
No, I'm not giving anybody else a definition of success. You define success for yourself. Right?
So
it's a personal thing. It's like happiness. Happiness is not a thing that people experience all the time. Happiness is a transient feeling. So people are chasing happiness. I don't know, maybe expecting it to be a permanent state, but it's not. It's a thing that comes and goes, right?
Yeah, it's those definitions that are on the dictionary and then say the societal norm. It's just what society says. Those feelings are within, and you're the only ones who can cultivate that.
That's the most important bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your brain, it's your psychology, they're your feelings.
Yeah. So do you also feel? Do you also feel that way when you play Hades?
Right up until the last encounter, yeah. See, I mean, video games are great, aren't they, for learning failure? Video games are just, I mean, the people who make video games are genius teachers.
Yeah.
The way they teach you how to do things and you don't notice that you're learning, and then you become an expert at it and you feel like a genius. Yeah, Hades, I'm all the way through to the last encounter, but I still haven't done it yet. Oh my word.
I didn't know about the game. My girlfriend had to tell me.
Yeah.
So, well, love, what is Sam playing? Let me see. Oh, he's playing Hades. Isn't that Warcraft? No, it's Hades. Okay. I didn't know, because RPG games of that nature, honestly, for me, it doesn't work with me. I like more collective video games, but in terms more sporting and cars as well. So
maybe you should just try it.
I need to try.
Just try.
I need to try a bit more. I need to speak with my brother, but now, because my brother now is in Norway, I can't reach him. Of course, but I need to talk with my partner because she loves to play RPG games. So.
Yeah, I played World of Warcraft when it came out in 2004. I've got a World of Warcraft character that's older than my kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
I'm not a good role model. Well, it's a dwarf hunter. Yeah. But I think video games are very interesting. I've always, again, being a nerd, I grew up with video games. You know, I was playing video games on DOS, well, before DOS, Atari and stuff. Pong. I played Pong anyway, sorry.
Pong?
You know, the Pong?
Oh, yes, like, I know Pong.
The dot,
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
I know Pong.
So I have literally grown up with all this. What was my point? But video games, don't they teach you about failure, little failures, and failure is part of the learning process, and you do get really frustrated and angry and annoyed.
Many times I was so fucking frustrated to win a 24 Le Mans race on my desktop at the time. Was 20 years ago when the Toka was in. You have heard of Toka drivers? It was a big boom before Gran Turismo came in. So, oh my God, I need to win this, and got so fed up, and so I got slapped by my parents once. When it wasn't normalized at the time.
It's like when you get hit by a blue shell as you're about to go through the finish line in Mario Kart in first place. Who's that blue shell? Anyway, yeah, but I am interested in. So the other thing about video games is, of course, they're often very visuospatial. Yes. And anatomy is also very visuospatial.
Yes.
So there's a tie in there. The reason I find anatomy easy is because it's probably very easy for me to build these three-dimensional spaces in my head. So I'm often interested in students, if they play video games, what type of games they play and how they get on in finding their way around the video game world or the real world, because often that ties into how easy it is for them to understand anatomy. But doesn't the history of playing video games teach you how to deal with those little failures, which feel so meaningful at the time, because it's the last boss and you're dripping with sweat and your heart rate's like 160 BPM and you just sat in a chair. Do you know what I mean? If you go through those safe virtual experiences, does that help you with real life? I don't know. I don't do psychology.
Well, I wish I could do, but it's not my cup of tea. I prefer ancient history, and for ancient history games, Assassin's Creed is top notch.
You're learning while you're playing, right?
Yeah, you learn while you play. I've the first one I got was Assassin's Creed 2,
Yeah.
and I knew they had the novels written by Oliver Bowden. I don't know if Bowden is a common surname here in Wales. I just had some. Anyways, but I've learned a lot from AC2 and then Brotherhood, Revelations, and so on. I never knew so much about Renaissance Florence when I had art history lessons.
Yeah.
And you see,
Yeah.
oh, I need to. If I needed to do so, there was this time I needed to. We were having Renaissance history, art history, and the lecturer at the time was telling about the technology of the Cathedral of Florence, because it was made in various tiers, in various phases. So I was thinking about, okay, so what's the best time to check out these? I mean, I have the internet, but I also have AC2. Okay, let's play it on my PlayStation and see how it goes. And I was doing the missions, the parkour missions, and like, oh, I need to reach to the top of the Duomo, or the big vault of the Florence's cathedral. So, so this is how it's built, because they have a snip, a brief information about the cathedral, who made this, the material, how the engineering worked at the time. And I was like, oh, okay. So they had a model built with wood. So it was like a blueprint for them. And I say, now I get it. So and then we had a group work, and we had a nice grade. I don't remember which one was it, but I'm surely that AC2 was helpful on that.
It's all wider learning, wider reading, right? Are you now at the level where you're critiquing what you see in those games? Yeah. You're saying that's not right and that is right. And
so, have you heard of Operation, the anatomy game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you do if you just like you have this lecture about the human body in any place? Would you invite your students to be competitive and then just take off the bones? What would you do what would you do if they would fail?
Yeah, no, operation's not so useful for learning accurate anatomy. No, it's a bit too vague. No, competition can be very useful in getting groups of students to work together, and we like that because if groups of students are working together, they're talking to each other. So they're debating what the right answer is. They're comparing their own knowledge. They're error checking each other. They're having little arguments and discussions. Man, that helps learning so much. Because anatomy is another language, right? So they're saying the language out loud. So competition is really helpful in that respect. But even in that competition, you've already got collaboration.
Yeah.
You got one group fighting against another, particularly if you've got new students who don't really know each other very well yet, and you can get them doing this and they start to relax, they start to know each other and talk, and it's nice, isn't it, as a learner in a group of other people that you don't know, to then know them all a bit better. It all feels a bit easier.
Wow. And then once it hit the exams, I do remember as well that you said on this last vlog you've made that they had an exam to do.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was just a formative one.
A simulation then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just the anatomy spotter exam is a very strange exam. We have physical objects. We put pins in things. And we ask them questions about. It's recognition and recall. What's the name of that thing? What nerve innervates that thing? Yeah. So we like to give them a dress rehearsal so they know what's coming up.
Oh, okay. So it's more of a spoiler alert for them.
Yeah, show them the real level. We are marking them. We'll give them their marks back. And the marks don't mean anything to us. It's just for them. It's mostly showing them this is exactly what's expected of you. Now prepare. So when we do the summative exam, this is what you'll get. And that type of exam is different again because we're not spreading the students out like first 2-1, 2-2. We're setting a bar and saying if you know a bit about everything, you'll get over this bar. So the pass mark's about 50%. Most students should be scoring about 70, 75%. And I know that students do battle to try to get 100% because it's entirely doable. Usually students have done some anatomy before. So easy to make a mistake that I reckon I probably wouldn't get 100% going around my own exam. Not because it's hard, I just make a silly little mistake somewhere, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, as you said, it's the competition, but then how they see themselves in a real world scenario. Then,
yeah, when they're working in medicine, they're not going to be competing. When they're working, they're going to be collaborating. They're part of a team, and they're part of other teams. So medicine there's a lot of learning to be a lone worker, and very much being a team player. Communication is a huge part of this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hidden curriculum stuff, but in anatomy there's a lot of communication skills that we develop,
Problem solving as well.
Yep.
I guess it hits all across all areas, no matter.
Yeah, we've been teaching like modern anatomy for about 400 years. We've kind of got the hang of it. Not me personally.
Yeah.
But from Italy, the first anatomy lecture theatres, the first universities there, pretty much, just over 400 years ago. And we haven't really changed that much. We've added to our knowledge of anatomy, but we still do small group teaching with a body or with other objects, practical stuff.
Plus the oil on canvas of the anatomy lesson by Rembrandt. You've probably heard of it.
Nicholas Tulp.
Nicholas Tulp.
The anatomy lesson of Nicholas Tulp.
Yes.
Is that it?
No. So the probably it is, but I was recalling to an oil on canvas anatomy lesson of a physician dissecting this area of the forearm.
Yeah.
So he's from Rembrandt. He's famous for his bigger canvases.
Yeah, the anatomy lesson is there's a body that's very grey, and there's a small group of bearded gentlemen, and then a teacher at the front, and some interesting use of light and colour. And it is my classic example of, hey look, small group teaching. Hey look, small group teaching. What have we changed?
They're all paying attention on how the radio, I think it's the metatarsus and the radio. How do I dissect it? How do I dissect it?
Yeah, right? I mean, there are fewer ruffs and beards now, but otherwise, it's... Yeah, and we do have new things like YouTube and podcasts and the internet and stuff, but it's not really changing much, the body.
No. I think it's just there are transferable skills throughout the centuries. I mean, just proper lessons were made, as you said, 400 years ago. Even going back further, historically, we had the Arabs who basically knew about medicine. Hence, the word medicine comes from a physician called Ibn Sina.
Yeah.
And many of them, I'd risk to say that most of the people are uninformed about it, and they think, everything was a creation from the Western world, which to an extent it developed wildly, yes, but originally it came from the Islamic world during the peak of the Caliphate era.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we think about it.
Yeah.
That's where the knowledge was for a long period of time when there wasn't so much knowledge in Europe.
Yeah, and so life goes on. Sitting down with a proper anatomist. You said also, because we were talking about YouTube and your teaching experience, you said you also have a podcast as well.
Yeah.
Is this around the same concept?
It's another teaching thing. So it's the Dissectable Me podcast. It's limited to 5 minutes.
Dissectable Me podcast.
Dissectable Me. Yeah, we teach physician associates, and when I do a Kahoot quiz at the end of every session, and they came up with great pseudonyms, really, really ingenious pseudonyms. So when we were thinking about starting a podcast, we said, what should we call our podcast? And they came up with that name, so we picked that. It's a topic of, so Chris Summers and I were doing it regularly. Chris fell by the wayside, so it's me doing one every week. He says he's going to come back next year. We'll see. But it's 5 minutes on whatever topic we're interested in, and that 5 minute. So it's giving choice again with the e-learning, right? You can go out and read something before the teaching. You can watch some YouTube videos before the teaching, listen to some podcasts. We're not expecting you to use it all. We're giving you choice. You pick whatever works for you. So if you haven't got much time, 5 minute podcast is going to introduce you to the terms, introduce you to the subject, and warm you up. And it only takes 5 minutes. And for me as a teacher, because I can talk for hours about most things, right? University lecturers are terrible for that. If I've only got 5 minutes, okay, wow, what do they really need to know? What is really clinically relevant? And that's a great exercise, especially when you've been teaching a long time, because it distills down what you do know to what you should know.
To what you should, to what exactly they want to know.
What they need to know.
What they need to
this
know,
is
yes.
what you need to know about. Yeah.
Wow.
Which takes out a lot of faff.
Any upcoming sessions?
I make it up as I go.
As you go?
Yeah, every week I just make it up, whatever topic.
Okay. So it will be on the same day that when a YouTube video is launched?
No. So Monday I'm teaching all day gem. Tuesday I find time to do a short, and literally it takes me 5 minutes of work to do a short. Just have an idea and go to the lab, grab a light. I use the Meta Ray-Ban glasses because they got the camera in the thing, so I can use both my hands. I just get a big light, usually record it in one go. Wednesday I try to record a video when the labs have finished being used. So Thursday is editing. I'll do a vlog at some point during the week, often on the weekend. Friday is when I do a podcast. And again, because it's a 5-minute thing and I should know about it, it shouldn't take me much time to research, and it should only take me 5 or 6 minutes to record. So it's all about efficiency. It's like, what's most useful for somebody else, and how can I maximize the probability that I will complete this task every week. So if you've already got a topic in your head, that makes it easier for you to record that topic, right? Because you've already done the research. If I'm already teaching something on the Wednesday, because we teach on Wednesdays, we're going to teach on Tuesdays. If I've already talked about something that week, and often if you're teaching a lesson and you've done some research, you'll often come across this really interesting thing. It's like, I didn't know that really interesting thing. Now I've got to tell everybody about it. So that's a short, or that's a podcast, right?
Wow. And I think with all this information, I think I just got a brief knowledge of knowing a bit about the anatomy from your teaching experience, and I think this is a good way of wrapping up the session, because we could stay here all day long, but just tackling time and then talking more about anatomy, the teaching experience, and also other topics as well as you like, unless you have something to share before wrapping up.
No, not in particular.
Any advice for whoever wants to take a PhD specifically in this area, or in general as well?
Just in general, a PhD is harder than you think it's going to be, and because it's hard, you're gonna struggle and you're gonna have failures, and that's fine. It's worth it in the end. It's so I think before I did a PhD, the title was important to me, and after I did a PhD, don't care. Nobody ever calls me Dr. Webster, not even the people I work with. It was all about the experience, and I think it was a really important part of my life. I can't recommend it heartily enough, but you got to be up for it.
And I think this is an excellent way of finishing up the session.
Thank you for having me.
So thank you so much, Sam. And your channel, Sam Webster, your podcast, Dissectable Me. So students and graduates, make sure to pop up on the show notes and look out for Sam's YouTube channel. Also his academic profile if you're interested. And
not
also
much of a profile.
You said you also have a LinkedIn as well with your same name as well.
It exists. I don't use it much, but yeah, I'm quite searchable, I think.
So just crack on with that. And Sam Webster, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the time to come.
Thank you. That was fun. It's nice to be back chatting to PhD students again.
We can also talk afterwards.
Yeah.
So for you students and graduates, so thank you for tuning in. Again, make sure to follow Sam Webster's podcast and YouTube channel. And as for me, it's been a pleasure.